Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Invaders Day 2 for Invaders Lesson 3. And let's see what's happening. Okay, so we're going to learn about instance variables, also known as fields. List things that an instance of a class, an object, such as a cannon, may need to remember. What kind of things should a cannon remember? If you're playing the game, what would be handy if your cannon remembered? Okay, so an instance variable, a field, is a bit of memory, a computer's RAM, that belongs to the object or the instance of the class. So, for example, you have your cannon, and he has a box. He'll end up having a bunch of boxes, but he has a box that's going to need to hold stuff. Okay, so he needs to keep information. For example, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to keep track of his speed. How fast does this particular cannon go? Okay, so we think of it as a box on the RAM that you can store stuff in. We also think of it as a box that the invader carries around. Write that down. Anything that is stored in it will be remembered as long as the object exists. So if you put the speed in here, and it belongs to the cannon, and if the cannon dies and you remove him from the world, well, this goes away and it frees up that RAM for other stuff, so it doesn't clog up the RAM. Alright, so here's how we do an instance variable declaration. We say public or private is who can use it. We say the variable type for this example is going to be int, okay, because we want it to hold whole numbers, and the variable name would be something like score. For us, it's going to be private int speed because we need to keep track of the speed. Okay, that's how you do it. So public or private, the name or the type of variable, so either int or boolean or whatever it's going to be, and then score. Okay, now when we create a new variable, it is called a declaration. So right now that's what we're learning how to do is variable declarations. We will always write instance variable declarations at the top of the class before the constructors and act method and other methods. Okay, so what I want you guys to try to do is create a new instance variable field with a good name that keeps track of the cannon speed. So a good name would be speed. Add one that keeps track of the invader speed too. So you're going to do this both for the invader and for this thing. So basically what we want to do is create an empty box that belongs to the cannon whose name is speed. Okay, so give that a shot and see what happens. Okay, and then next we need to initialize variables. But before so let's go ahead and do that too. Alright, hang on though. So let's take a look at the cannon, and if we can find it here. Okay, so what you need to do is this. So you have the public class extends spaceship, and right after that bracket you're going to do this, public int speed. So it's going to create a variable that multiple people can use. It holds integers, which are whole numbers, and the name of the box is speed. Okay, that's what we got so far. So do that. Do the same thing for the invader. Okay, this is for the cannon. Do the exact same thing for the invader. Okay. Okay, so now we have an empty box. We need to stick something in there. So when we give a value to an instance variable for the first time, it's called initializing it. Where would be a good place to write a statement that will add a value to the instance variables? We need to do it once when the invaders are added to the world. So when the cannon is first put in the world, we need to stick a speed in there. Okay, we need to stick a 5 in there. Where should we do that? Okay, so what I want you to do is create a constructor for the invader and for the cannon, because that's the answer to the question. That's where it would be a good place to write the statement. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is create a constructor for the invader and for the cannon, initialize the speed of the instant variable in each one, whatever you want it to be. I think I used 5 or something. Okay, so do that. Okay, and then we're going to use that speed to move the invaders. Okay. Okay, so for the cannon, so here's where we declare the variable, right? Boom, we made our empty box. And then we're going to create a constructor right here. And the only thing it's going to do so far, so you notice it's public class cannon extends spaceship. So our constructor looks just like the class header or class definition, but we're just missing the return type. And right there we're gonna initialize it. We're gonna put something into the empty box for the first time. We're gonna type speed equals 7. So you're gonna do the exact same thing in cannon and in invader. Okay, so look at the methods available to the invader. What method or two can we use to move it right? So basically what I want to do is do this. So if you already haven't, I think some of you might have already done this, but anyway, do that. So we need to figure out how to get the cannon and the invader to move right, and we need to figure out how to get them to move left. Okay, so here's what we're going to do is you're going to go into, so we have spaceship is a superclass of these guys. So since they're both going to move right and left, we're going to put it in here. I'm not sure if, we might have already done this. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll show you it anyway. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a move right thing. Now look, it requires a parameter. So you say, hey, move right, and it requires you to send it the speed. Okay, and here's the code. So you take the x location and you switch it to the current x location plus speed. So how much are you going to scooch it over? And then you're going to set the location to this new x and the current y. You're not going to mess around with the y. And then move left is going to be minus speed, so the same thing, instead of plus speed, it's minus speed. So we added that to spaceship, so now cannon and invader can use it. Okay, so let's take a look at how we're going to use that in the cannon. So what we're going to do is this. So now under the act method, we have check key press, and if green foot is key down right, we're going to move right speed. So now we're going to use that variable we just had, move left speed. Okay, so it's going to move over 7 pixels. Okay, okay. And by the way, take a look if you didn't do this already. So we have fire. This is what you should have had for fire so far. I haven't made any bolts yet, but that's what we have. At any rate, so look, move left speed, move right speed, and so our cannon moves right and left. Okay? Alright, let's go back to the PowerPoint and see if we've done everything. Alright, okay, so basically what I'm trying to show you here is you're just saying, hey, take that code that I was showing you is basically said, hey, get its current x location right here, and then you're going to either add speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to it, or you're going to subtract speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you're going to keep the y coordinate exactly the same. It's not going to move up and down, it's just going to go right and left. Okay? Okay, so create a method definition with a good name in the spaceship that expects an integer parameter, so you have to send it the speed. It will move the spaceship right the amount that was sent into the parameter. Create a method. Alright, I just showed you all that. Okay. Okay, and I just showed you all this. Okay, so what do you call it when we make a variable for the first time? Write the statement that will declare a variable that will hold the number of shots fired. Where do we write the statements to make instance variables? What do you call it when you add a value to an instance variable for the first time? What a good place to initialize. Okay, that's it. Answer that and you're done. Okay, and then what you should probably do is go on to the next spiel if I have it made, or continue on with the PowerPoint.